As we work on helping students understand what it means to compose, it's also important to do some fluency building activities so that students have that ease and accuracy with composing. So as we think about building fluency, one of the first things we may want to think about is reviewing some important skills. First, it's really important to be able to compose to 5 and compose to 10, but it also is important to be able to compose to other numbers. If you are thinking about composing to 5, maybe you want to use this 5 frame. Here you can see, I can see these different ways to compose 5 as 4 plus 1 and 1 plus 4. Or if you're working on composing to 10, here I could use this 10 frame with different color counters. In this example, I can see how easy it is to compose 10 as 3 and 7 or 7 and 3. But there are a lot of other games that we can use to help students practice that fluency. Let's look at a few examples. Here we have Make 5 Bump, a partner game. So on this activity, students have this game board here and a spinner. First, students are going to spin and then find the number on the board that would make 5. In this example, 2 plus 3 would make 5 or equal 5. And they will cover that number that would make 5 with a cube. Then another partner spins, maybe they spin on the same number. So they figure out, oh, I have to do 2 plus 3, that would equal 5. If there was already one cube on there, they can bump it up and replace it with their cube. Then the students keep going. If they figure out they spun again and they landed on 2, then they would put their second cube on 2, and there they can clip those cubes together, and that locks it. That prevents it from being bumped. And then the students continue spinning and covering up the numbers that would make 5 until one of the students has used all of their, here in this example, cubes, or they've finished all of the numbers on the game board. Another fluency activity that students might do is by making 10. This would be a partner game. Here I would use playing cards, 4 sets of 1 to 9. 1 is represented by the aces. I take those and I deal them equally between partners, and students would place their cards face down. Then students take the top 4 cards from their stack and place them in front of them. And then here I'm going to figure out, well, can I use my cards to make 10? With this top set of cards, I can see that 1 plus 6 plus 3, that would make 10. So I'll go ahead and move those to the side, and then I would replace those with 3 new cards from my deck. Now if I look at the student down below, maybe they can't figure out a way to make 10, so they can always replace 1 card from the stack with a new card, and then now maybe that gives them an opportunity to make 10. And then students keep playing until they run out of cards, or if they have found no other ways to make 10. Another activity that students might want to use to practice fluency with composing is using these number bonds with a die. Here I can roll a die and write down the number at the top of this number bond. And then I can think to myself, well, what are the ways that I can make 6? Here I could compose 6 by 3 and 3. 3 and 3 equals 6. Then I could think, well, I think there's other ways that I can make 6. I could think about, well, 6 is 2 and 4, or 6 can be made of 1 and 5. And then once I've figured out all the different combinations there, then maybe I roll the dice again. And now I have 4, and I think about, well, what are the ways that I can compose 4? Another activity that students might want to do to practice their fluency is to compose numbers. In this activity, they could use the unifix cubes. Maybe I've got a set of cubes and I think about, well, what are all the ways that I can make 10? So I could show those with my cubes and then also write them down. I could also provide those single unifix cubes, or we could give students a tower and then they have to take that tower apart to start to think about what are the ways that they can compose 10. This is almost a blend of decomposing at this point, so you might want to use this activity for both composing and decomposing numbers. So those were just some activities that you might consider using as you want students to develop that fluency. Remember, fluency is ease and accuracy, but as you want students to develop that fluency with composing. So I'd like you to push pause and think about what fluency activities might you use to help your students with this composing of numbers all the way up to 10.